Hello and welcome to update number 1 on Russ Gosselin's D-Day group build. If you've watched my introduction video for this, you'll realise that I am doing the Teleria 172nd C47 Dakota. I plan to have this modelled with some CP models 172nd US paratroopers waiting to board. But obviously first what we've got to do is build the plane, so that's what I started, because I don't actually have the figures yet, and at the moment I don't have the cash for them, so I'll build the plane for now and get the figures when I can. There's only about 5 in the set, so they won't take particularly long to do. So I thought I'd build the kit up first. So the kit builds up by starting with the floor, which goes inside the cabin, a couple of bulkheads, the rows of seats, and then what we have here is some crew stations. I didn't even realise the C47 actually had these. I kind of just thought it went straight through to the cockpit from the cargo area, but apparently not. So these just go on here like this. A couple more bits here which form passageways. So one's a table, one's basically a rack of radios, so it's presumably where a radio operator and a navigator would actually sit. Now unfortunately these parts are just blank shapes. There's no detail on them. There's not even any transfers for them, and the photo etch set I got comes with extra details for the cockpit but not for the radios. So basically I decided to add just a little bit of detail there, but it's a bit pointless and I'm going to not bother adding any more than that, because when the fuselage halves are together you'll not see them, because in the fuselage they'll be sitting around here, so there's no windows, and there's a bulkhead so you'll not see through from the cockpit anyway, and they're far enough forward that you'll not see through from the cargo door either, and these side windows are too small, and there's a blank. This bulkhead here is solid anyway, so that's that. I just added a little box on there, so this is the real one here. It's the radio racking. It's much more racking than this would give you the impression it is anyway, so I'm not going to bother adding all that detail. You'll not see it. It's a bit of a pointless exercise. I added a little bit there just for the sake. There's more on this side and a fire extinguisher molder on there. I mean, I'll paint this up, but it's a little pointless. So I'll leave these separate for painting, otherwise I'll never get the airbrush or paintbrush in here. It gets too tight. Next step will be adding the seats and the various parts, the control panel and stuff, unless it's going to affect painting too much, in which case I'll paint and then add later. There was a fuselage locating pin like this one up here above the cockpit here on both sides, but I had to remove that because as part of the cockpit set, this panel here mounts right in the middle there. And also I'm going to have to do this while this is open, otherwise I'll never get in there. So I'm going to add that panel on just one half and then just onto the other. So that pin had to come out, so that's out. Next step, there was a few very shallow but not quite sandable injector pin marks. I'm just waiting on the putty drying and I'll just quickly sand them out. That's that. Then next step is going to be to start putting some of the photo etch parts into the cockpit here and building up the instrument panel and such for on here. So that's the build so far. Not really very much, just building up this inside here. I don't know whether to bother adding anything else in there. It's one of these planes that you're not going to see inside very much, so I don't think I'll bother. I think I'll just leave it as is. So I'll leave that there, keep it nice and short. So this is update number 1, and I'll see you in the next video for update number 2. Thanks very much. Bye now.